what it is which controls that which you call yourself. You are not your body. The body is simply the physical instrument which the ego uses to carry out its purpose. Keep that in mind. Please keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. You are not your mind. This is simply another instrument which the ego uses to think, reason, and plan. Yes, yes, yes. When you say I go, you tell the body where to go. Where you say I think, you tell the mind what to think. When you come into a realization of the true nature of the I, you will enjoy a sense of power which nothing can give, nothing else can give, because you will come to know what you are, who you are, what you want, and how to get it. Yeah. Introduction, part 4. This part will show you what you think, why what you think, or do, or feel is an indication of what you are. Thought is energy, and energy is power. It is because all the religions, sciences, and philosophies with which the world has therefore been familiar have been based upon the manifestation of this energy instead of the energy itself. That the world has been limited to effects, while causes have been ignored or misunderstood. For this reason, we have God and the devil in religion, positive and negative in science, good and bad in philosophy. The master key reverses this process. It is interested only in cause, and the letters received from readers tell a marvelous story. They indicate conclusively that adepts are finding the cause thereby. Why am I tripping up? That adepts are finding the cause whereby they may secure for themselves health, harmony, abundance, and whatever else may be necessary for their welfare and happiness. Life is expressive, and it is our business to express ourselves harmoniously and constructively. Sorrow, misery, unhappiness, disease, and poverty are not necessities, as we are constantly eliminating them. Someone who stays in poverty and keeps on believing that they will stay in poverty, they'll keep on staying in poverty. It's about the mind. I was trying to explain that in the last video, and I just welcome. If you're watching this one after the other, don't. You have a week. Go and meditate. Go and let your whole body relax. You have work that you should have been doing. But if you have watched it and then took a week, now you're back, welcome. What I was trying to explain is someone doesn't realize that they create their own reality, and they're playing the cards that they are dealt, but they just have it. They're not playing it. They're like, yeah, these are my cards. They're not the best cards, but they're my cards. And they're not playing it to the best of their ability. Then they're always just going to stay with looking at their cards instead of playing them. But this process of eliminating consists in rising above and beyond limitations of any kind. He who has strengthened and purified his thought need not concern himself about microbes, and he who has come into an understanding of the law of abundance will go at once to apply the source of supply. It is thus the fate, fortune, and destiny will be controlled as readily as a captain controls his ship, as an engineer his train. Part 4. The eye of you is not the physical body. That is simply an instrument with which the eye uses to carry out its purpose. The eye cannot be the mind, for the mind is simply another instrument from the eye, which the eye uses with which to think, reason, and plan. The eye must be something which controls and directs both the body and the mind. Hold on, someone knocked on the door, I think. someone did. Alright. The I must be something which controls and directs both the body and the mind, something which determines what they shall do and how they should act. When you come into a realization of this true nature, of this I, you will enjoy a sense of power which you have never before known. Your personality is made up of countless individual characteristics, peculiarities, habits, and traits of character. They are the result of your former methods of thinking, but they have nothing to do with the real I. When you say I think, the I tells the mind what it shall think. When you say I go, the I tells the physical body where it shall go. The real nature of this I is spiritual, is the source of power, is the source of the real power which comes to men and women when they come into a realization of their true nature. The greatest and most marvelous power which the I has been given is the power to think, but few people know how to think constructively or correctly. Consequently, they achieve only indifferent results. Most people allow their thoughts to dwell on selfish purposes, the inevitable result of an infantile mind. Infantile mind. When a mind becomes mature, it understands that the germ of defeat is in every selfish thought. Yes. The trained mind knows that every transaction must benefit every person who is in any way connected with the transaction, and any attempts to profit by the weakness, ignorance, and or necessity of another will inevitably operate to his disadvantage. This is because the individual is a part of the universal. A part cannot antagonize any other part, but on the contrary, the welfare of each part depends upon a recognition of the interests of the whole. The fuck is going on outside? Those who recognize this principle have a great advantage in their affairs of life. They do not wear themselves out. They can eliminate vagrant thoughts with faculty. They can readily concentrate to the highest possible degree on any subject. They do not waste time or money upon objects which can be of no possible benefit to them. Something that I've been learning. Addiction is a very real thing. And I'm not just talking about substances, I'm talking about a lot. You have to go broke a few times if you're going to win. But you only have to go broke a few times when you realize that, you're doing the right things for the money that you're spending. That's why you're going broke. A lot of people waste their money on this, on that, on flashy things, on this and that, and it won't help them, not one bit. Not one bit. If you cannot do these things, it is because you have thus far not made it the necessary effort. If you cannot do these things, it is because you have thus far not made the necessary effort. Now is the time to make the effort. The results will be exactly in proportion to the effort expended. One of the strongest affirmations which you can use for this purpose of strengthening the will and realizing your power to accomplish is, I can be what I will to be. Write that motherfucker down. Can be what I will to be. And after that, what I would write, I already know mine. I can be what I will to be, and I will to be. And you go off. You write for as much as you can, as little as you can, summing it up in 1, 2, 3, 4, however many words you want it. You write precise. You write with determination. You write with confidence and strength, knowing that what you will to be is how it will be, and nothing can change that. Every time you repeat it, realize who and what this I is. Try to come into a thorough understanding of the true nature of the I. If you do, you will become invincible. That is provided that your object and purpose are constructive and are therefore in harmony with the creative principle of the universe. If you make use of this affirmation, you will continuously use it continuously, night and morning, and as often during the day as you think of it, and continue to do so. I'm gonna read that again. I don't know why the fuck I'm tripping up. If you make use of this affirmation, use it continuously, night and day, and as often during the day as you think of it, and continue to do so until it becomes a part of you. Form the habit. Unless you do this, you had better not start at all, because modern psychology tells us that when we start something and do not complete it, or make a resolution and do not keep it, we are forming the habit of failure. Absolute ignominious ignominious failure. I'm a bit retarded, my bad. I think we can tell if, sorry, the hand just stretched out. Probably scared you now, didn't it? I know I said I would have Subway Surfers in the back, but no, fuck you, I'm gonna be ignorant. If you do not intend to do a thing, do not start. If you do start, see it through, even if the heavens fall. If you make up your mind to do something, do it. Let nothing, no one interfere. The I in you has determined. This thing is sealed. The die is cast. There is no longer an argument. Literally. If you carry out this idea, beginning with small things, which you know you can control, and gradually increase the effort, but never under any circumstance allowing your I to be overruled, you will find that you can eventually control yourself. Every man and woman have found to their sorrows that it is easier to control a kingdom than to control themselves. But when you have learned to control yourselves, you will have found the world within, which controls the world without. You will have become irresistible. Men and things will respond to your every wish without any apparent effort on your part. This is not so strange or impossible as it may appear when you remember that the world within is controlled by the I, and this I is a part or one with the infinite I, which is the universal energy or spirit, usually called God. That's the big G, you're the little g. This is not a mere statement or theory made for the purpose of confirming or establishing an idea, but it is a fact which has been accepted by the best religions, thought as well as the best scientific thought. Herbert Spencer says, Amid all the mysteries by which we are surrounded, nothing is more certain than that we are ever in the presence of an infinite and eternal energy from which all things proceed. Lyman Abbott, in an address delivered by the alumni of Bangor Theological Seminar, said, "We are coming to think of God as dwelling in man rather than operating on man from without." Literally, God is not a big man with a hairy beard in the sky. If anything, God is more woman than man. I know, controversial. Read, and then you'll understand why I'm saying it. It's not like it's the man that creates the child as much as he provides its sperm. He's not the one giving birth to it, is he? We're on this day and age. Still, I'm a guy trapped inside of a woman's body. Okay, bud, and I'm also a god. Well, I mean, that's right. I was gonna say I'm also a bull. I don't know why I'm trying to make fun of them. It's just funny, innit? Yeah, I should probably get to it. Fucking cunt. The amount of things that I've said right now are probably... How does a woman have me smiling like this? Who the fuck? Science goes a little way in the search and stops. In its search and stops. Science finds the ever-present eternal energy, but religion finds the power behind this energy and locates it within man. But this is by no means a new discovery. The Bible says exactly the same thing, and the language is just as plain and convincing. Know ye not that ye are the temple of the living God? Here then is the secret of the wonderful creative power of the world within. Yeah, literally. You are the temple of God. You are also God. You are the dreamer and dream. Here is the secret power of mastery. To overcome does not mean to go without things. Self-denial is not success. We cannot give unless we get. We cannot be helpful unless we are strong. The infinite is not a bankrupt, and we who are the representatives of infinite power should not be bankrupt either. And if we wish to be of service to others, we must have power and more power, but to get it, we must give it. We must be of service. This is why you'll never be able to give anything. You'll never be able to get anything unless you're willing to give it to others. It's the one thing I know. And this brings it back to the last one. It's like you'll never be able to have anything, or was it, unless it's beneficial to every party. It was this one. Unless it's beneficial to every party, you will never be able to get anything. And let's say you do get it, it's just a test by God. And more than likely you're willing to not pass it. Because you're just going to go living about and go it clean. Wow, 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 wow. The more we give, the more we shall get. We must become a channel whereby the universal can express activity. The universal is constantly seeking to express itself, to be of service, and it seeks the channel whereby it can find the greatest activity, where it can do the most good, where it can be of a great service to mankind. Hold up, I need to go check my washing. The universal cannot express through you as long as you are busy with your plans, your own purpose. Quiet the senses, seek inspiration, Focus the mental activity on the within. Dwell in your consciousness of your entity, of your unity. Where the fuck did I get entity? Dwell in the consciousness of your unity with omnipotence. Still water runs deep. Contemplate the multitudinous opportunities to which you have spiritual access by the omnipresence of power. I can go tomorrow. I'll go tomorrow. Visualize the events, circumstances and conditions with which these spiritual connections may assist in manifesting. Realize the fact that the essence and soul of all things is spiritual, and that the spiritual is the real, because it is the life of all there is. When the spirit is gone, the life is gone. It is dead. It has ceased to exist. These mental activities pertain to the world within, to the world of cause and conditions and circumstances, which results are the effect. It is thus that you become a creator. This is important work, and the higher, loftier, grander and more noble ideas which you can conceive, the more important the work will become. Literally, like, when I first started doing this, I did start it for selfish reasons, to get money and to get fame and to get this and to get that. But I've always known I've wanted to make content. And the more I've learned, the more I've expanded my knowledge, the more I've done my own shit and lived my life to my own accordance, the more that has just gone out the window. Yes, I want fame and I want money, and I will never not get enough money, but that's only because I want to give it all to my parents. To see my mum's face light up, and I've said this in my last video and I keep on saying it and I will keep on saying it. To see my mum's face light up when I just transfer her as much money as she could want. To give my dad whatever car he wants to drive. To give my brother whatever toy, whatever thing, whatever anything he wants. To ensure that my mum doesn't have to go to work. And if she wants to go to work, then she only goes to work because she has fun at work. But she knows that she isn't going to work to get money, because she's fine. Where she's lived a life where I don't want to talk about it here, but she's lived a very hard life. And for me to be alive, it's been nothing short but a miracle. But the one thing that I know is I chose to be born. Everyone is chosen to be born. Everyone has chose the body that they've got right now, the mind that they've got right now, the potential and everything that they could have in life. They choose it before they're here. They choose their gender, they choose this and they choose that. I know it's probably extremely controversial, I shouldn't say it, but you choose your families, you choose everything. And I know I chose this family because I chose my mum to birth me, because she deserves a life that she never thought she could have, and I know I can give her. Overwork or overplay or over bodily activities of any kind produce conditions of mental apathy and stagnation which make it impossible to do the most important work, which results in a realization of conscious power. We should therefore seek the silence frequently. Seek the silence frequently. Power comes through response. It is the silence that we can be still. And when we are still, we can think. And thought is the secret of all attainment. Thought is a mode of motion and is carried by the law of vibration, the same as light or electricity. It is given vitality by the emotions through the law of love. It takes form and expression by the law of growth. It is a product of the spiritual. Hence, its divine, spiritual, and creative nature. I know you're an artist after all. The next video that I make, that I've got in mind, not the one that we're working on now, but the next one. Yeah. I'm not going to speak about it because it's just going to be extremely different from the one that we're doing now, but it's still going to feel right, feel so natural, feel so beautiful. From this, it is evident that in order to express power, abundance, or any other constructive purpose, the emotion must be called upon to give feeling to the thought so that it will take form. How may this purpose be accomplished? This is the vital point. How may we develop the faith, the courage, the feeling which will result in accomplishment? The reply is by exercise. Mental strength is secured in exactly the same way that physical strength is secured, by exercise. We think something, perhaps with difficulty the first time. We think the same thing again, and it becomes easier this time. We think it again and again, and then it becomes a mental habit. We continue to think the same thing. Finally, it becomes automatic. We can no longer help thinking this thing. We are now positive that what we think, there is no longer any doubt about it. We are sure we know it. In part 3, I asked you to relax, to let go physically. Now I'm going to ask you to let go mentally. If you practiced the previous exercises 15 or 20 minutes a day in accordance with the instructions, you can no doubt relax physically. And anyone who cannot consciously do this quickly and completely is not a master of himself. He has not obtained freedom. He is still a slave of conditions. But I shall assume that you have mastered this exercise and are ready to take the next step, which is mental freedom. Now, after taking your usual position, remove all tension by completely relaxing. Then mentally let go of all adverse conditions, such as hatred, anger, worry, jealousy, envy, sorrow, trouble, or disappointment of any kind. You may say that you cannot let go of these things, but you can. You can do so by mentally determining to do so, by voluntary intention and persistence. The reason that someone cannot do this is because they allow themselves to be controlled by the emotions instead of by their intellect. Yeah. But the will guided by the intellect will gain the victory. You will not succeed the first time you try, but practice makes perfect. In this, as anything else, you will succeed in dismissing, eliminating, and completely destroying these negative and destructive thoughts, because they are seeds which is constantly germinating into discordant conditions of every conceivable kind of description. What is thought? Thought is spiritual energy. How is it carried? By the law of vibration. How is it given vitality? By the law of love. How does it take form? By the law of growth. What is the secret of its creative power? It is a spiritual activity. How may we develop the faith, courage, and enthusiasm which will result in accomplishment? By a recognition of our spiritual nature. What is the secret of power? Service. Why is this so? Because we get what we give. What is the silence, the physical stillness? Of what value is it? It is the first step to self-control, self-mastery. There is nothing truer than that the quality of thought which we entertain correlates certain externals in the outside world. It is the law from which there is no escape, and it is the law, and it is this law, this correlative of the this correlative of the thought with its object that from the time immemorable has led the people to believe in special providence. Fucking hell. Alright. I'm gonna meditate. I'll see you in a week.